This video is a sample from the Secret Guitar Teacher Interactive course, The 5 Main Elements of Music. The 5 main elements of music. Element number 2, Scales. Section 2.4, the Major Blues Scale. Part 1, Major Blues Scale Diagonal Runs. The first approach to help you use the blues scale patterns to improvise over major key progressions is to learn to connect the scale notes in discrete octaves diagonally across the fretboard, like this. This immediately helps get your ear used to the different sound that we get when we use the notes of the blues scale in this way. There's the minor blues scale, major blues scale. As with the minor blues scale diagonal runs that we covered in section 2.2.7, there are two variations of these runs that I recommend you learn to play. The 3-octave run starting on the 6th string and the 2-octave run starting on the 5th string. And for each of these two runs there are ascending and descending fingering patterns to learn. So let's start with the 3-octave run ascending. This is what it looks like in the key of G. Remember, to convert from minor to major blues scales, we can use the pinky trick that we showed you in the introduction. We put our pinky on the key note on the 6th string. Then, by measuring down, we look at where our first finger falls, in this case on the open E string. We get the relative minor key, which in this case is E minor. So this means that we can use the pattern of the E minor blues scale to produce the G major blues scale. Here are the step-by-step instructions. So start with your first finger on the G at fret 3 on the E string. And you can think of this as the start of the 2nd position. Remember, we're thinking of the blues scales in the key of E, the minor blues scale pattern in the key of E. After playing that note, we play the note 2 frets higher, fret 5, and then slide up through the 3 traffic light notes at the bottom end of the 3rd position. Then we move across the bottom end of that 3rd position to complete our first octave here at the note G, fret 5 on the D string. We can then continue on up through the 3 traffic light notes in the middle of the 4th position to find the G there at fret 8 on the 2nd string. So that 2nd octave. But notice that I tend to use my first finger there in anticipation of the onward journey up through the 5th position, which we complete up to the fret 12 on the top string there, and then we add the G at fret 15 on the top string. So that's our 3rd octave. Here's the whole run again, played slowly. And here's the diagram, which is also included in the downloadable PDF. See the link below this video or on the main menu. For the descending run, I normally follow the same path. I find myself using pull-offs here to smooth this out. Same there and there. But I think it's worth experimenting with different techniques to do this. For example, on the traffic light notes, you could use a double pull-off like this. Or you could play one note straight and then do the other two as a pull-off. Slides can be used for a similar effect. Notice how each approach gives you a different rhythmic feel. In some keys, the 3-octave run starts too high up on the fretboard, and you may not even be able to complete it unless you've got a 24-fret guitar. So in these cases, it's good to have the 2-octave run well learned as well. To find the correct start point for the major blues scale, you need to locate your key note on the 5th string. So let's have a look at the key of D major for our example. Here's the note D on the 5th string, it's at the 5th fret. And again, we can use the pinky trick to work out which set of patterns we'll be using. So with my pinky on this note D at fret 5 on the 5th string, I measure down and see where my first finger falls, and it falls at the 2nd fret on the note B. B on the 2nd fret of the A string. So that tells me that I'm going to use the same patterns that I'd use for the B minor blues scale patterns. So first position will be up there. Thinking backwards now, 5th position, be right behind it. 4th position, down here. So this note that I'm starting on, you can consider to be either at the sort of upper end of the 4th position or lower end of the 5th position. Probably better to think that way because we're going to go straight across that 5th position and slide in to traffic light notes at the bottom end of the 1st position. To continue our first octave there, at the D note, fret 7 on the G string. Then I can continue on up through the 2nd position, the traffic light notes, to complete the octave at fret 10 there, the note D at fret 10 on the top string. Oh! Here's the diagram for this one. On the descent, we follow the same path, but I tend to use my 2nd finger to slide down the traffic light notes on the 3rd string. Here's the diagram for this one. There are other possible routes you can follow to connect these runs in discrete octaves. And In fact, I'd encourage you to experiment to find your own most natural way of connecting these notes together. And I'd encourage you to experiment with the fingering and with the use of technique to both to smooth out the passage of these runs and also to introduce different rhythmic variations. It should be emphasised that there are no right or wrong ways of doing this. It's important to find the way that works best for you and produces the most effortless result. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you'd really like to maximise your potential as a guitar player, click on the link in the description below to the Secret Guitar Teacher site. Here you can sign up for a 30-day trial free of charge and without obligation. We won't even ask you for your credit card number.